Hello everybody and welcome to this, your Scorpio January 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, Clairvoyant. Well, have I got a good deck for you this month? Yep, it's a deck which is filled full of surrealistic art, but no weird surrealistic art. It's stuff that's very approachable and that you'll enjoy. At least I'm certain of it, because I mean, if I like it, I'm pretty sure that you'll like it as well. So let's have a look at it. Now, I probably should remind you that I provide clairvoyant readings to people all over the world via FaceTime and Skype. Now, I charge for those. They go for about an hour and a half, and the details are in the description if you're curious about it. Now, as I say, I charge for them, but what I do not charge for, and which I also provide separately for free, no expectation, no obligation at all, is the gift of healing, which takes about 45 minutes. And it comes through me and not from me. And you can kind of figure out where it comes from. Now, well, I'll tell you, it comes from the beloved, so that relief can be bestowed upon you. When you feel, for example, that you are just at your wit's end, or that you've run out of options, or that you can't get ahead, or that relationships are too much problem, there's problems with work and business, emotions, physical stuff. It's a clean slate. You write in what your issue is, because, as I say, the gift is there to show the connection between you and the beloved. Now, there are no video advertisements, and if it speaks to you, reach out to me. Don't be shy, because plenty of people do. Each day I'm doing healings for people from this channel, and I set time aside, and I'm very happy to do it. Now, there are no video ads in this content, so you get to enjoy the experience direct. Now, show me the magic and give me 5. 7 of Wands. Good. What's this? 7 of Swords. 2 7s. 4 of Wands. Well, see how these are all starting to interact with each other now. Very interesting. Astrology. Is it? There's the sun. Well, it doesn't get much better than that for you. So, and that's the major arcana, of course. And here is the Page of Wands. Why does that not surprise me? Well, I'll bring the camera around, shall I? You and I can have a look at the really interesting artwork on these together. You can take from them what you will, I'll take them from what I will, and I'll do the reading for you. What a fascinating spread of cards for you for this in January, the new year. Look, you've got some self-doubts. You're being called upon to make use of your talents and gifts which are given only to you, so you dig deep and have the courage to start doing that, letting a few things go. This is a turning point for you in your life. It's all good ahead, and you bedazzle people with your beauty. Now, why am I being told this? Let me see, how can I express how important you are and why you should not have self-doubt, which is a result of this card here. Let me reach down and pull this up. Just excuse me, and I'll just make use of this. Now, you know the number 10. And you know that the number 10 to the power of 2 equals 100. That's a power of 2 that's there. Do you know how many atoms, you know how tiny an atom is? Do you know how many atoms there are in the entire universe, which is some 90 odd billion light years apart from one side to the other? It is the power of 10 to 80. Just quickly do that. So you can see that there is a quick jump from 2 to 80, and that's the number of atoms in the universe. Now, do you want to know what the odds of you being here really are? I'll show you. You will be astonished by this. 10. That's enough for that, I think. Now you can see here that 10 to the power of 80 is the number of atoms in the universe. The odds of you being here is 1 in 10 to the power of 2.685 million, really. So 2,685,000 to 1 is the odds of you being here, which means, of course, that that's the number in the atoms in the universe. This huge number, a 2 with basically 27 million zeros behind it, that's the odds of you being here. So I think you can easily draw from that it is not an accident that you are here, and you are here with a unique set of talents and gifts. Now, why do you go over things in your mind as you are doing at the moment? Sometimes thinking about repercussions from previous decisions, maybe sometimes feeling like there's a sense of, oh, just could not be bothered about you. Well, that's because it is the moon in Aquarius, the astrology, and that feminine, cyclic nature of the moon, well, it weakens the intellectual qualities of Aquarius. So it might be that there are some heavy subconscious expectations which muddy your insight into your situation and your plans for the year ahead. Perhaps there's even an anxiety here, but this is telling you, you saw the numbers there, you should not be here at all, and yet here you are, so it is no accident. But you may have the feeling, and to use the planets, of Neptune saying that, look, everything seems to be clouded by a film or veil, I just don't know what I really want. Venus might say, but it's just too good to be true. Mars might interject and say, I haven't the energy, there's no time, or I am already too old. And Jupiter may well say, look, what I have in mind is too much good at once. I could never cope with so much success. And then Mercury, the planet of communication, may say, I just can't get my point across properly. Or Saturn might say, it's simply just too much trouble and takes too long. Well, these literally destructive thoughts, they don't need to be taken seriously, because the reality for you is really very different from what your present feeling and perception of it is. And you're going to look back here in a very short space of time, and you're going to laugh over your own doubts. Now, I know some people sometimes think that, look, nobody believes in me, but decide that that person who believes in you is you. Stop doubting yourself and give yourself a chance. You will persevere and get through every obstacle, because not believing in yourself is no longer an option. Self-doubt is not welcome in your life anymore. Remember, your tenderness and sensitivity, they are unparalleled in manifestation. Now, in particular, I'll say this for women. A woman's number one relationship goal should be with herself first. Liking, loving, and valuing who she is will set the standard for what kind of man, or woman as the case may be, that she chooses to date or marry. She's got to not only know her worth, but she's got to protect it too. Protect it from people that don't mean her any good. Dead-end, unhealthy, toxic relationships, they're not going to be anything that she will care to entertain, because her self-love won't allow her to go down that road, and she will move on. And sometimes I have noticed it with women that they can, well, let me just say this. I encourage women and girls all over the world, this is the message coming through, to stop mentally abusing themselves by comparing themselves to others and negative self-talk. To love and accept themselves for who they are, just as they are, because that's the true woman and girl power. There is no greater love than the unconditional love that you give to yourself. Female power really starts from within, and the more you love yourself, you realize the more beautiful you become to others. And I must say that, well, in a woman's life, perhaps, education and fashion should be the highest in quality. The rest of the things, they come in handy. So this is saying your fears have nothing to do with reality. Wake up and see what's really happening. Now, ask yourself this. In what areas do you talk yourself down? What are your constricting, imprisoning belief systems? Say this to yourself. I will, I am, I choose to master all the skills and means needed to achieve that which I long for most deeply. Yes, that's definitely the case. Incidentally, though, this 7, and this is teamed up here with another 7, mystically, I have an association with victory, with the numerology of 7. And here we have the 7 of Wands. And now this is Mars. Lots of energy, lots of passion, lots of vitality in the 3rd decan of Leo. And what we see here is that you do get the courage, you will have daring and have an impact, you will take risks, and you are not going to compromise, because the male warlike power of Mars, combined with the daring of the lion in Leo, is going to produce incredible force and impact for you, and the battle will be carried out with perfection. And this perfect battle which you will prevail in will occur possibly against that background where you feel as if you are in a losing battle, and that it's only your courage which is keeping you going. And even things in the background might appear to not be going the right way for you, but I'm here to tell you that despite what you may think, things are unfolding in the background that are occurring for your benefit. Now, this is about digging deep, I suppose, and you will overcome. Of course, courage, well, being loved by someone gives you strength, while loving somebody deeply gives you courage. And remember also, it's got to be said that a great deal of bravery is needed to stand up to your enemies, but sometimes just as much bravery is needed to stand up to your friends. It takes courage to grow up and to become the person who you really are. And this is very much linked with this. How can I get across this linkage that's here to encourage you? Look, you are not here by accident. You are special, you are important, you have gifts and talents. Maybe I can tell you a story. The ideal situation, I think you'll agree with me, for a man or woman to die in is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed, and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given only to you by life, and that you for whatever reason, you never went after that dream, you never leant in for that kiss, you never said those words, you never used those gifts. And imagine that there they are, standing around your being, these ghosts, looking at you with large angry eyes and saying, "We came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever." And imagine then, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts, what talents and abilities will die with your body. Their own miscarriage is your bodily death. Do you know, the greatest wealth doesn't lie in the oil fields of the Middle East, and it doesn't lie in the gold mines of Australia and China. Oh no. The greatest wealth, it lies in the cemeteries. The greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, the talents, large or small, never actualized. So I think that you'll be moving to a place where compromises are out of the question, because they would require a denial of your own inner reality. It's time to stand up for who you are. It's time to stand your ground and remain true to your energy unconditionally. Say this to yourself: I express my own reality openly and honestly, and I walk forward without fear. Now, this central energy looks to me like it might be obviously just as important as this. Mind you, they're all extremely important for you this month. Don't miss any of this. This is the Four of Wands. Now, this is Venus in the third decan of Aries, which is the 10th to the 19th of April. Now, you might think that's a problem with... Now, Aries, of course, is ruled by Mars. So you might think it's a problem with Venus sitting in with Mars. But I think there is something of the case where Venus uses her feminine abilities to tame Mars, and they get on very well together here. There's great energy here with you. There could well be some opposites attract action going on. And you might find that you have the emotional idea, which comes from Venus, to start heading off now in new directions, which is the Aries aspect here. This is the possibility here now of new beginnings. It's certainly a green light to success, and it's the foundation of the first stages of completion. Getting rid of, cutting out of those things in your life which frankly are just not going to help you go forward and become and display your true self. Yes, now it might be because of this Seven of Swords here, which is a very mental thing, where you are turning over and over and over in your mind whether or not decisions that you made previously are actually working out for you. And you might let go of some things, because letting go means coming to the realization that some people or situations, they are a part of your history, but they are no longer a part of your destiny. And it might sound heartless saying that there might be some people who need to be let go, but look, it happens to us all as we grow and develop. You find out who you are and what you want, and then you realize that people you've known forever just don't see things the way you do. So you keep the wonderful memories, but find yourself moving on. But what's important here, do not let Venus cloud your decision-making ability here, because I see here that you need to make a decision that you are going to move on. It's not going to happen automatically. You'll have to rise up and say, I don't care what this involves. I don't care what aggravation is involved in this. I'm not letting this situation get the better of me anymore. I'm moving on with my life. And letting go doesn't mean that you don't care about someone anymore. It's just realizing that the only person you really have control over is yourself. The other thing that's here is that even though you may, because of this Venus, there might be a decision whether you want to stay, whether you want to move, going around in this direction. Even though you may want to move forward in your life, you may have one foot on the brakes. Now, in order to be free, you must learn how to let go. And in particular, learn how to let go and release the hurt, release the fear. Refuse to put up with or think about your old pain. Do you know the energy it takes to hang on to the past is probably going to hold you back from starting a new life? So what is it that you would like to let go of today? And I will also say this as a by the by, that if you spend your time hoping somebody will suffer the consequences for what they did to your heart, then you're allowing them to hurt you a second time in your mind. But nevertheless, there are some new relationships coming here, and something beautiful is going to be pulling you into them. Now, this could also refer to an existing relationship that you have, and you might notice that at first, as the usual way of doing things is called into question and it's discussed openly, because sorting out the old now, that's really needed for a new oneness, a new beginning. And if there is some tension between you and somebody else, now is a really good time to sort that out and resolve that interrelationship and complete the old. Because remember, completing the old frees you for the new. And anyway, it's got to be said, as I mentioned earlier, that this is really a turning point for the better in your life. Go through that stuff that it's telling you to do. And what we have here is the result that you'll have a highly creative energy, I think, an awareness. There's also fulfilled love relationships here that I see. A transformation. This is a definite yes. There's a sense of having enough. I also see marriage around here. Success and good fortune are here. And also optimism and happiness are coming towards you. You see, the sun, well, the sun is the source of life, and it represents success and abundance, and this is going to follow you in your life at present. And this energy will be sitting here to get you through any minor aggravations which come up from those two cards there. See, the sun is shining the flashlight, the torch, on your path to show you the way forward after what has, I think, been something of a trying time. So embrace your goals and now give it everything you've got. And if you have had tough times, things are going to get better. You can move mountains. Now, this is definitely saying that the fulfillment of your wishes is possible here and now. So relax and just give yourself up to the rave, the dance. The right people will find each other. Now, ask yourself this: what task or project is on the agenda for you now? Visualize the light and warmth of the sun in your chest and heart. And for the next few days, remind yourself several times daily that the sun is shining in and through you. And say to yourself, Hey, look, I work well in teamwork situations. I enjoy making contributions to group efforts. I'm a cooperative person. And I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. And then I think that takes us, finally does it. Let's have a look. Yes, we looked at this. Look at you coming out blazing in glory, reflecting the power and strength of the sun. Do you know, I think that Leo, Virgo, Cancer, they're likely to be important to you here. Do you know what I like about this is that this is telling me that you have now gone through this process, and as a result of it, you are freed from fear. This is a new beginning. There's optimism here as well, and an increased understanding of yourself and what's going on in the world around you. You are really going to be, you'll have passion for everything around you, and you'll be greedily sucking up as much of it, of the things out there in life as you can. Maybe even recklessly. You recklessly go after things to gratify yourself. You're almost going to be insatiable, really. But importantly, fear has disappeared. Now, when fear disappears, undreamed of springs of enthusiasm and joy bubble up in you, revitalizing your life. Now, your self-limiting fears from earlier, that corpse, those corpses, they can now be buried and forgotten because your old fears have lost their power over you, and their dead remains cannot frighten you any longer. You'll be very energetic, quite individualistic, I think, brilliant, if I may say, and daring, and very expressive in love or in anger. This is a time when you are going to be very attractive to other people because you will create your own beauty by your internal lust for life and energy. You will bedazzle other people. And I don't see you having a lot of patience, actually. I think you'll be very quick at acting. So this is speaking to me for you at this time as being someone who will be confident, daring, exciting, quite a nonconformist, freedom-loving, and ambitious. People are really going to love your character and energy. But you might be vengeful, temperamental, maybe a little unruly, sometimes shallow or even cruel, and I don't make any judgment on that. But this is really conquering your old fears and patterns of thought. It's as if you brought them to the surface and conquered them. Although it has to be said, you have often learned your lessons the hard way, haven't you? So now at this time of year, ask yourself, what is the next step in your life? And find it fearlessly, because you have everything going for you this month. Well, what a fascinating spread of cards. Makes so much better for you being here. Well, didn't I tell you that was interesting art, and I'm sure that you would have enjoyed it as much as I did. Now, of course, the new calendar year, and my best wishes to you all. Now, unless I see you again privately, either for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, it's bye for now.